Hello YouTube world, my name is Nicholas Montes and you're watching my YouTube channel, The Teenage Movie Critic. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm so excited to have y'all back here together again. And in today's video, we're going to be doing another end of the month list. Today is April 30th. And that means today we're going to stop and rank all 15 retro movies that I saw in the month of April of 2023. With that said, let's go ahead and get started. Now, this was my pick for Easter, as you can tell by the title, Easterland. This movie was terrible. I hated this movie. The animation was terrible, the story was terrible. It comes in last place. This is also another film I watched for Good Friday. It's not a great movie. It's not enjoyable at all. It's very, very boring. Now, this was a film I was kind of excited for, but because it starred one of the girls that played Dahlia from Aladdin, the remake from Aladdin from 2019. So I thought it would look pretty cool. Very weird film. There's a scene where a dolphin hits the girl with the dolphin's dick. I'm like, what? There's just a lot of weird sequences in the film, weird comedy, very weird. It's just a weird film. So this was a film that I personally, the best thing about it was really the relationship between Dave Bautista and this little kid. The thing I wanted more of was the action. Like, I wanted that relationship to be there still, but I wanted more of the action there too. The Old Guard was a film that I just didn't really know what to expect. It starred Charlize Theron. It was an action thing. Kind of seemed kind of cool for me, but I just didn't really know. It was kind of like, these people they're resurrected. I'm like, what? They can't die? Like, why? And I thought it was a fine film. Now, Evil Dead, this is the only Evil Dead movie I've ever seen, and the remake of it looks pretty cool. I mean, it seemed pretty cool, and I thought it was pretty good. It had the horror vibes. It was a nice little story. Now, this was a film that I saw for Robert Downey Jr.'s films. He wasn't in the movie, I don't think. I did not see him. But the movie itself is pretty good. It stars Sarah Jessica Parker as she's trying to get into this dancing competition. And it's a cool love story. The characters are relatable. It reminded me a lot like 10 Things I Hate About You. But it's not that. So, I liked it a good bit. Now, this movie is bonkers of how much stuff this movie does. It basically starts off as these two brothers help a kid, or basically these two brothers are uploading a YouTube video, and for April Fool's prank, their little younger brother pranks them for getting so much views. So they wanted to help him get this other movie while also hacking into his computer and getting all these viruses. But the movies that they show, the little segments that they show in here from all these terrible films, it's just insane. You have a movie where Hugh Jackman and his chin is like balls, is like a ball sack. You have a movie where you have this kid that is homeschooled, but their parents treat it like actual school where they bully him. They show him off in the bathroom. And then there's this Chris Pratt and Anna Faris one where Chris Pratt's gonna ask her to marry him, and then Anna Faris is like, "Will you poop on me?" I'm like, what the and even when he was eating the burritos, I'm like, my stomach was kind of hurting a little bit too. It just kind of goes all bland on all the humor. And even the little Batman and Robin bit I thought was cool. So I thought that this movie was very funny. It's not going to be for everyone. If you like that very adult humor, you're definitely going to like this movie. Because I enjoyed it, a really great time with it. Alright, so I saw the Dawn of the Planet of the Apes trilogy this past month as I was able to stay home from school from the Florida floods that was happening. And with this film, I was extremely excited because a lot of people consider this to be a top tier film for the Planet of the Apes trilogy. And I thought it worked really nicely. It continued the way they continued this story, and the way that they did Caesar's character I thought was great. All the the motion capture of it was great. The story of it, all of it was great. The problem here is that it felt a little bit too simple, where it's like these scenes of apes riding on horses didn't feel as exciting to me as you would expect. And so it's like all the visuals and everything was great, but I wanted more of it. Now this to me was a much better film for the Planet of the Apes trilogy, as it basically has Woody Harrelson killing Caesar's wife and son, an older son, and basically has to go on this mission where he goes on with his main apes and goes to track down his family's killer. And it's a pretty great film. I love the Bad Ape character. I love all the action's pretty cool. I like the way they use the apes as slaves, basically. It was an interesting aspect of it, and just the way that this virus that started back at the end of Rise basically doesn't allow them to talk anymore. So and then when Caesar dies, it feels satisfying to this trilogy of films. Now, Train to Busan was a film where I was like, okay, it's dubbed. I'm probably not gonna like it. But then when you think of a movie about people on a train, it's gotta be something action-based. So basically it turns into this zombie apocalypse movie where people are trapped on this train station or this train, and they have to find a way to get away from the zombies as soon as possible. And I think some of the action was pretty cool. The situations that are put into these characters and the characters you care about between this father and daughter, I thought was really great. So I loved Train to Busan. So this was a movie I saw on April 20th because I'm trying to rewatch all the 2020 movies. And this is what I actually missed back when it first came out on Disney+. And now that I've finally seen it, I can finally share my thoughts on it, and it's very good. Now, it's not amazing. It's not like the most amazing film. Of course, the music numbers and all the songs are amazing and fantastic. The way they do slow motion shots and make it feel like it's time rewinding, all of that was great. And even the characters, you care about them. They have depth. They have relatable stuff, even though it's just telling a piece of American history. And even the way that all these actors were able to play different characters in different roles at the same time, playing different characters and playing different roles, it was all amazing. I will say probably my biggest problem is it probably would have worked better for a film. But honestly, the big thing about it just feels powerful. It's really powerful. All the performances are powerful. The songs are powerful. It's a very powerful film. Now, this was a film I watched for leading up to Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which I'm about to go see next week. And Super was another great film for me. It did something different with the superhero genre and not just telling this revenge story where he's skilled and he has to go do stuff. No, he's a human, but they do it, and he uses stuff and beating up people with a wrench. But at the same time, it has that James Gunn style to it, with the music and the tone and the humor and all the jokes. And even with the Elliot Page character, I loved, as she wanted to be this sidekick to this other superhero? I forget his name. Overall, it's a ton of fun. And also you got Kevin Bacon here, and Sean Gunn, so it's a lot of fun. Now, the reason why I put Rise of the Planet of the Apes more than anything else is because it's a story that takes place in real time, where you have this scientist that wants to make apes smarter, and one of those apes got their mother killed, but that gene of their mother is inside them, and as they grow older, they start to develop better, and they start to become more human. And as throughout the story, as he starts getting more violent, he has to be put up for adoption and basically going to do the pound for apes, and basically starts this massive ape army. And the way that it starts through this revolution of apes is great. And all the action was great. The scene where they're attacking in San Francisco on the San Francisco Bridge, all that was great. So this is easily one of the best films I've ever seen this month. Now, this was a film that I remember I was watching a piece of animation, a movie about animation, and this is the best example of animation that's simple, it's short, and it's awesome. Where you have these three bears plus a panda, and it's able to tell this such emotional story of these bears that are not being accepted into society, so they're on the run, they get captured. You actually feel for them when they're crying, and even then they're likable, they're funny, and even all the other characters, even the human characters that are trying to capture them, you hate them, and even for all the situations, you understand them. And it was only 1 hour and 8 minutes, and it's able to tell everything about it. All three characters are likable in their own ways. They're all unique. This is a film I absolutely loved, and I never even watched the show of this movie. So this is easily a great film. I loved this movie. So that's my ranking of all the April retro movies. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. All my social media stuff in the back section over there. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.